Greetings and welcome. My name is Aaron Craig with Beyond Us Games, and what I want to talk about in this video is what happens when your player actually gets stuck in something. So in the last video, we created these collision checkings that will prevent almost all collisions. But what happens if you have a sprite that changes when you go left or right because of the sprite index, you're changing it, and then that sprite somehow gets stuck in a wall? These collision checkings will not catch that. So inside of SPR Sarah walk left, if this is middle left instead of middle center, it'll cause an issue when we get close to a wall. So if I come over here and then I change left, you can see here because the origin is way on the left-hand side, it translates it into the wall. And then you get a little stuck. So here, you can't move. So if I press up, I can move because it changes the origin back to the center and repositions her. But if you come over here and then you do this, you are now completely stuck inside of here and you can't get out. And this may be an uncommon occurrence, but then again, it may not be. But if you have a sprite that is not completely equal on all of the ways and movements that it has, you can get stuck inside of a wall or something like that. So what do we do when that happens? Well, we need to have a way to check for when we are stuck and then get out of that. And I've got something for it. Whereas most of the things we've been doing so far have been inspired by Heartbeast and Sean Spalding and other YouTubers that I've seen, this one I came up with and I'm really proud of it. So let me show you exactly how it works. So we're going to say if we are meeting with our solid, so at our current position, if we are colliding with OBJ solid, then we just need to do a check to see where is the last place that we were free. And to do it, we need to do kind of a lot of code. There's no simple and easy way that I've found. It's just going to be a lot of typing here, but it's all going to be really quite similar. So what we want to do is do a for loop. We're going to set I equal to 0. We're going to go all the way to 1,000 if necessary, and we're going to increase it by 1 each time. And inside of the for loop, we're just going to have a lot of if statements. We are just going to check to see where is the last place that we were free, and when we find it, move our character there. So we're going to be checking right, left, up, down, and then diagonal, so when we are moving that way. So top right, top left, bottom right, and bottom left. So we're going to be checking just one pixel at a time out from where we currently are to see what the closest place free is, because if we are inside of something, whichever direction we moved in from, that should be the closest thing that to not being stuck inside something. So let's look at this. It's just going to be a lot of code and a lot of if statements. Going to say something like if not place meeting. So if we are not colliding with our OBJ solid, we're going to move to it. So we're just going to say x plus I, currently y, and OBJ solid. And inside of here, it's going to be x plus equals I with a break statement. Because if we don't break, we'll continue doing this for loop forever. So same thing here. If we're not meeting at x and y, or x minus 1, x minus I, y, OBJ solid, then we're going to x minus equals I and break. And you can see kind of what we're doing here. So now we can actually speed this up by copying the left and putting it in the up. We just have to remember how this is going to change. So for up, we're not actually checking our x coordinate at all, we're checking our y, and we want to be subtracting I from that. So we change y here, and for down, we'll do kind of the same thing. Get rid of the x, but we're going to increase the y, and so it's going to be y plus equal I. And now for the diagonals, we need to do the same thing, except now we're going to be checking both plus x and plus y, or 1 or minus x minus y, or somehow of that variant. So for top right, the first one we need to do is going to be x plus I, and it's going to be y minus I, since we're going up and to the right. So then we just add those in here. So it's going to be x plus equal I and y minus equal I. I'm going to copy this, paste it top left. So top left will be x minus I and y minus I. So change the sign down here. Bottom right will be x plus I and y plus I. So change both of those. And bottom left is going to be x minus I and y plus I. So swap those two around. And then we're all set. So it's a lot of code, it's a brute force method, but it works really well. So now you can see if we're right here, if I come up to this wall and I press left, I don't get stuck in it at all. Same thing if I'm over here on this one, I don't get stuck in the walls anymore because it knows exactly where I am. And this code will only run when you're inside and stuck in a wall. So you don't have to worry about performance issues or anything like that of it always going to 1,000 inside of a for loop. This will only occur when you are actually stuck inside of something, which for the most part, with these two, that won't happen. But sometimes it does, like I showed you. So if you've got some sprites that are causing you some issues, this will cause you to no longer be stuck inside of something. Now, the only problem that you might have is if you really are moving quickly and you are like right here and you somehow move 60, 70 pixels over, it's going to find the closest location to be to the right. So you're going to end up over here. So if you are moving really, really fast and you're getting collided into objects, well, be checking this first because you should still be able to check your speed and that should work properly. If not, then you're going to want to add another check inside of here to see what the last keyboard press was, and then if you need to do that, you check which the opposite direction of that key press is. So if you find that the last key was pressed right, then you're just going to want to check to the left of whatever you're collided with to move back over that direction. So those are my suggestions for what happens when you get stuck. If this works for you, let me know. If you have any suggestions for making it a little bit better, I'd love to hear that. And that's what I've got for you today. So, as always, have fun making great games, and I will talk to you later.